Recently, we've been getting a lot of great new SpongeBob games in the style of Battle for Bikini Bottom with Purple Lamp Studios. In 2020, we got Rehydrated, in 2023, we got Cosmic Shake, and now, we got Titans of the Tide. While the previous two were good with some flaws, I feel like Titans of the Tide is great and might just be the best SpongeBob game. It is very well designed, has satisfying controls, and the core mechanic of swapping between the characters is excellent. The story is also fun, it has a lot of funny moments, and a lot of great references and callbacks to episodes of the show, and I did run into some performance issues on the Switch too, but I still really enjoyed my time with it. And also, before I start, I'd just like to mention that THQ Nordic provided me with a review copy of this game. So without further ado, let's jump into the world of SpongeBob with Titans of the Tide. The main gimmick of this game is being able to instantly swap between SpongeBob and Patrick using their BFF ring. One character is playable, while the other transforms into a ghost, similar to how Patrick appeared as a companion in Cosmic Shake. Each character has different abilities similar to the previous games, with SpongeBob being able to karate kick and blow bubbles, and Patrick being able to grapple and burrow into the ground, which are actually new abilities for him. Each area of the game is designed around swapping between the two of them on the fly, and it feels really satisfying. For example, a platforming section could have a balloon for SpongeBob the karate kick into, then have a platform that you pull out using Patrick while you're still airborne. Then, there could be some puzzles that require SpongeBob to hit his switch using a bubble, and then you switch to Patrick and grab a stone tiki. This game utilizes the swapping mechanic so well, and it feels much more intuitive than other games with similar mechanics. The gliding ability also returns and was definitely implemented well, and I love how SpongeBob's glider references my favorite episode. Some sections also let you use a ghostly surfboard, similar to the surfboard in Cosmic Shake, to travel around open areas quickly. Overall, the gameplay feels very fluid and satisfying, and it was nice to see a lot of mechanics from the previous two games return. In terms of level design, it is mostly linear, but there are a few open areas sprinkled in. In terms of difficulty, it is fairly easy, but that's expected from a SpongeBob game. Though there are some optional challenges if you are looking for one. One of this game's strong points is definitely its puzzles. There are multiple sections of this game that almost feel like Zelda dungeons, since you have multiple splitting paths that you have to traverse to open up a main path. Each area also has multiple side quests and challenges that you can do to unlock outfits and decorations. The side quests were pretty fun, though I wish there were more of them in each area. And the challenges are actually a bit tricky and took a couple tries for me. There are also a lot of collectibles to find. Each area has dozens of treasure chests and jellyfish. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to track how many jellyfish you've caught in each area, but they aren't too hard to find, and there are 100 of them in total. There is also a hub world in the game called the Floating Patty. It's basically the remnants of the Krusty Krab made into a giant hot air balloon. Here, you can access the main shop, as well as Plankton's challenges, and several side quests. Multiple characters you meet throughout the story show up here, and it's a nice little hub area to tie things together. Another aspect of this game that I really appreciate is the writing, because it's pretty funny. Honestly, I think it's funnier than the show's recent episodes, and some of the humor feels like a combination of the older and newer episodes. I love how they brought back the grotesque close-up images that were in the show, that were also in Cosmic Shake. This game also has a lot of characters too. Of course, it has the characters that you'd expect, like SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Sandy, but it also has a lot of lesser used characters too. Squilliam is in the game, which is really cool. He did recently appear in a Season 15 episode, but before that, he hasn't appeared in 15 years. Mindy from the SpongeBob movie, as well as Madame Cassandra from Cosmic Shake, also appear. The overarching story is also kind of funny too, since you basically have to save Bikini Bottom by getting the Flying Dutchman and King Neptune to stop fighting. Basically, it's like if they made the Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright boss fight from Kirby's Adventure into an entire game. Visually, Titans of the Tide looks pretty good. Nothing mind-blowing, but a lot better than how Rehydrated and Cosmic Shake looked. The characters have their updated 3D designs that they got in Cosmic Shake, and they look really good here. The character animations also look very expressive and natural compared to the previous games. Almost all of the characters have their voice actors from the show, and their performances were really good. It's not very often that the cast of a show returns for a licensed game, so this was definitely a welcome surprise. Another aspect of this game's presentation that I enjoyed was the music, as it was surprisingly good. I especially liked the main theme and the music for the slide sections. The music even slightly changes depending on if you're playing as SpongeBob or Patrick, which was a nice touch. There are even some remixes of songs from Battle for Bikini Bottom, as well as some subtle hints and motifs of music from Cosmic Shake. And that brings me into the next thing that I appreciate about this game, the locations. Cosmic Shake had some very creative areas, and I feel like that was definitely carried over into this game. Seeing jellyfish fields covered in snow was very interesting and reminded me a lot of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze in the sense that it took a familiar location and covered it in snow and ice. I also really liked the dark and gloomy aesthetic of the catacombs in Atlantis City. It was definitely pretty interesting. I really liked the general ghostly theming that this game had as well. Each area had a bit of that spooky and eerie aesthetic, similar to the Luigi's Mansion series. One issue that I did have with this game though, on the Switch 2 specifically, was the performance. Generally, the performance is decent throughout most of the game, and is still very playable on the Switch 2, but there are some moments where the frame rate dips quite a lot. This was especially apparent in areas that have a lot of water, particle effects, or graphically demanding objects. It might be due to the fact that this game is using Unreal Engine 5, which would make it fairly demanding, and it seems like it could have used more optimization on the Switch 2. At least there is a performance mode, which does make things a bit better, so I'm hoping that this game receives a performance patch sometime in the near future. So overall, SpongeBob Titans of the Tide is a very fun game, and is Purple Lamp Studios' best work so far. The gameplay and level design is excellent, there are lots of side quests, the dialogue is fun, and the presentation is great. The only issue that I've really encountered here is the performance, and that only seems to be an issue on Switch 2. So if you're worried about that, this game is also available on PC, Xbox, and PS5. But I highly recommend this game to SpongeBob fans, as well as anyone who enjoys 3D platformers. I had a great experience with this game, and I hope Purple Lamp Studios continues to develop more SpongeBob games. I would have to rate this game an 8 out of 10. It was pretty good. And I'm so glad that I got the chance to review this because I've been a fan of SpongeBob for a very long time, nearly 20 years. I know I'm only 21, but I've been a fan of SpongeBob since I was like 3 years old. And I played a decent amount of SpongeBob games growing up, like the Yellow Avenger on DS, so it's so surreal that I'm actually reviewing a SpongeBob game now. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!